Long time no see. As usual, I don't really remember when I last did a video or what I said in it, but I know it's been at least a few weeks, and I'm so excited to record this video. It always is such a great feeling when I'm like, I want to do an uncensored video. It just brings me so much joy. So I had to start off with that. As usual, so I have no idea what I'm going to say today, so bear with me. Usually these videos are on the longer side and they're a train of thought and just sharing what's on my mind. So if that's what you're up for, buckle up, we're in this together. It has been such a whirlwind past month, and perhaps I should focus this video on some of the things that have just been happening and let it go from there. I really feel like I have so much to share with you. And there were a few moments where I wanted to record videos, but for whatever reason, it didn't pan out. I'm really working right now on bringing my energy up and learning how to navigate my energy more so that I can record on a more consistent basis. I just came back from a really amazing business training called Experts Academy, and I feel very transformed from that. It helped me work through a lot of things personally, professionally, emotionally, strategically. And I think that it's really going to shift my work. I know it's going to. It's only been not even 48 hours. Let's see how long, 36 hours maybe since it ended. So I'm still in this what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I'm still in that blurry stage of coming out of something really great and profound. I caught up on sleep today and that was amazing, but I still feel pretty exhausted. I'm hoping tomorrow, which is Tuesday, May 3rd, I feel just ready to go with everything. I have such a long list of things that I want to accomplish, and one of them is to get back on track and be consistent again with this channel. So right now I'm committing to releasing videos on Sunday again. You've heard it. I've said it before. I haven't followed through on my promises, but hold me accountable, please. Bug me, tweet me, Snapchat me, Facebook me, Instagram me. Tell me to get these videos out every Sunday here. I've heard from so many people that this is your favorite channel, and I'm deeply honored when I hear that, because this is truly my uncensored channel. This is where I look unpolished, sound unpolished, don't do any editing. I'm amazed that people enjoy this, but I guess it also shows that authenticity is really what a lot of people are looking for. And that excites me so much because I want to be authentic. I love being authentic. And I've allowed myself so much for things to get in the way of my authenticity. And perhaps that can be the theme of this video, because I think a lot of people do that. In fact, I know that they do. I see it all the time. So if you didn't know this yet, in addition to Eco Vegan Gal, which is a website and a YouTube channel and content and all of that, and this channel, which is more of a personal side, I also have Whitney, which is my brand for coaching people, specifically vegans and healthy living content creators, on how to create content full-time, how to monetize it. Every time I say that sentence and describe the work that I do, part of me lights up. And actually, I don't light up in that way about Eco Vegan Gal right now. And that's just truly transparent and honest. I do love Eco Vegan Gal. I love that work. I love helping people through the transition to veganism, to staying vegan, to going back to veganism, and all the other elements that come along with my work, sustainability-wise and health-wise. But there's something about it that doesn't feel like it's fully my deep core. I think what my deep core is motivation, inspiration, and helping people work through their obstacles. And that actually plays a role in Eco Vegan Gal, of course, and I really need to bring out that side of me more in my work. I've spent almost 8 years now, right? Eco Vegan Gal launched in October 2008. Oh my gosh, so the 10-year mark is right around the corner, and it's kind of nuts when I think about that. feels like it went by really fast. And so much of that time I've spent trying to figure out my message, what I want to say. And I've had this natural progression of just kind of putting out content and trying things out. And that's been very organic. And then there have been these moments where I'm like, I want to be doing something different, or, I want to be doing this differently, or I don't know what I'm doing, or, there's just been a lot of like questions and confusion along the way, but I've kept going. And my point here is that I light up in a very different way about coaching, mentoring, inspiring people to monetize their work, because it brings me so much joy to see somebody have a light bulb moment where they say, I can do what I love full time. I don't have to do anything else but what I love. I can serve the world through my special knowledge, through my skills, through my passions, through the message that I have. Because each of us truly have something to offer the world that nobody else can, not in the same way. And it's so easy for us to not recognize that, to feel like we don't make a difference or that we don't matter, to feel like we have to do things a certain way, to feel like the world should be a certain way. And this was a very natural progression for me, from going from just putting information about my experiences and my knowledge from Eco Vegan Gal to coaching people through this, because there's so much similarity in that, right? There's the message of business and health are very, very similar, like in terms of the obstacles. One thing that I see in both cases is people wanting to live a certain way, but not trusting that they can, because of perhaps how they were raised, or because of how other people around them act, because of what people say, because they don't have support system. And what I'm recognizing about myself more and more is I think my personal gift to the world is showing people that they can do whatever they want to do, regardless of what other people say and regardless of what other people in society do. Is that if we feel like there's something that we should be doing in our hearts, or deeply want to be doing, might be a better way of looking at this, we can do that despite all these obstacles. Here's a great example. What I love about this channel is like, I don't really have much of a plan. It just kind of comes out and like these little moments will pop into my head that feel so valuable. So while I was at Experts Academy over the weekend, one of the most important parts of it was and it was very subtle, so there were a lot of important parts of it, but this one impacted me very deeply. There was this man sitting in front of me with a woman next to him. And at one point, actually, I forgot about this. During Experts Academy, you hug people around you. It's part of like the energy of it is like at one moment, several points during the weekend, Brendan, who runs it, would say, okay, get up and hug 5 neighbors. And it was always really fun, right? To feel that energy of the different people around you and just the freedom that came with that, because it's rare that we're in a situation where we feel comfortable hugging somebody we don't know. But when that other person is comfortable and you're comfortable and you just hug and embrace each other, literally, it's so freeing. So my first experience with this man in front of me was when he hugged me and he actually said, "Hi, beautiful," or something like, "Thanks for being here, beautiful." And I was like, oh, he called me beautiful. That was very sweet. And for a second I was like, is he hitting on me? And then I noticed he was cuddling up to this woman that was sitting next to him. So I assumed they were together. And I later learned that he called me beautiful simply as a sweet, loving comment, not as like he was making a pass at me or anything. Either way, it didn't bother me, but it was just a nice moment. Nobody else that entire weekend said that to me. And strangers don't normally compliment someone on their appearance unless they're hitting on each other. And even then, sometimes they don't. Anyways, so later on, we got into these breakout groups. And my goal during the breakout groups was always to find new people to talk to and go outside of where I was sitting just to like branch out. There were over 800 people at this event, so there were a lot of people to talk to. And we get into these groups of 5. And in one of these groups, this man in front of me was part of it. And in these breakup groups, we would say who we were, why we were at the event, and we would talk about whatever the subject was at the time. And he told me that his work was about helping people have the best relationships they could possibly have. I'm going to do some more research on him, and when I do, I would be happy to share you his information. If I forget to, please just reach out to me publicly or privately and ask about this relationship man. You can call him that if you'd like. I don't remember his name. I feel like it started with a P. Anyways, so let's just call him Mr. P. Mr. P, who's also the name of one of my teachers in high school. Anyways, it's not related to this at all. So Mr. P tells me that he became a relationship coach because he met his wife, who was that woman sitting next to him. And when they met, they knew within 3 days that they wanted to spend the rest of their lives together. So that alone was really interesting. And I have more to say about that story later on. You're going to have to wait a little bit until some things develop further. So stay tuned. And again, remind me if I don't tell you that story. Anyways, so he tells me that he and his wife decided to become these relationship experts or coaches. I'm a little unclear on what they do exactly. Again, I will do some more research soon. But he said that one thing that they focused on was kind of busting these myths around relationships. And he gave some examples how people would tell him and his wife, oh, well, the first 3 years of marriage are great, but after that, it gets really hard. Or you're crazy. How could you possibly know you want to marry someone after 3 days? Or I don't know if he gave another example, but it was this idea of so many people in life say that this is the way it is and there's no other way. Or they put these negative limiting beliefs on things like marriage, especially as we have all these ideas in our society about what marriage is and what marriage isn't. And these kind of like cultural jokes about our relationships and, you know, husbands being this way and wives being that way, and people cheating becomes so common, and divorces are so prevalent, and there's so many things. And so it's so natural for us in relationships to be afraid of them, right? We're afraid of all those negative things happening. I don't know about you, but I certainly have been. And one of the hardest things about being in relationships is busting through that stuff. But if we don't have positive examples around us, we may never bust through those. If we don't have information telling us other than what we hear culturally in society, we just assume that that's the truth. And I bring that up because I feel like that's part of my role too. I see a lot of stuff happening, a lot of these preconceived notions and limiting beliefs. And when there are things that come up that I have found not to be true in my life, or I've seen other people prove that aren't true in a positive way, I feel so compelled to show people the other way. And that's really been the crux of Eco Vegan Gal, but it wasn't until recently that I started to realize that. And now that's becoming a huge role in my work, WhitneyLauritsen.com, EVG Venture, that other channel there. And I think that's also a huge message on this channel. And, you know, a lot of times I'm just sitting here having a stream of consciousness and sharing about things, but do you agree with me? It feels like that's at the root here, is talking through things and recognizing it doesn't always have to be a certain way. And I think that's also part of the reason why I find comments so challenging. One thing about me is that I'm a very sensitive person. I've talked about that many times here. You can easily tell that about me. I'm also somebody that tends to believe the things that people say. I'm somebody that has looked for validation from other people. I've looked for permission. And after this event especially, but really something that I've been working on so much recently is not acting once I have permission, once I get validation. It's just being myself, just being authentic, and not being so concerned with what other people think. Because what other people think is usually just their own opinion. It's not reality. For some reason, you know, our culture holds so strongly to that. Our culture values the opinions of other people. Our culture kind of seeks for validation. And yet, a lot of the people that are out there offering personal development advice would say that you need to center in on yourself. That's why meditation is recommended so much. And speaking of which, I need to get back into my meditation practice. Anyways, that's another topic. But I'm working really hard on being who I really am, on being my authentic self, because that's where the gift really lies. I'm not giving my best gifts to the world when I'm too concerned with what other people think, when I'm looking for permission, or when I'm looking for validation. That's not what I teach other people, so that's not how I should live my life. We shouldn't go into relationships thinking that they'll only be good for a few years. We shouldn't go into relationships with all of these ideas about how long it takes to fall in love, how long it takes for us to decide we want to marry somebody, how long the passion, the flame is going to be there, what the chances that we're going to get divorced, all of these ideas, right? And that's true about so much of life. If we go through life having expectations, having these beliefs, these limits, these shoulds and shouldn'ts, these can'ts and cannot, and these can and can'ts, it literally limits us, and we don't reach our true potential. We hold ourselves back because we think we have to act in a certain way. We think that we need to do it this way instead of that way. And I'm really clear right now that I want to help show that each of us, if we get in touch with our true passions, if we can work through any reasons behind these obstacles we've placed in our lives, figure out what's at the root of them, we can move forward in the biggest ways of life and make a huge difference, because each of us individually can make huge differences. And then when we really come together as a community, wow, it's really deep. And I certainly recognized that and felt that over this past weekend. You know, just seeing Brendan Burchard, who leads this Experts Academy, up there talking about everything and just feeling so in awe of him. He changed over 800 lives this weekend alone. I mean, he's huge. You can look him up, Brendan Burchard. He's got millions of fans on all of his platforms, and you know, he's actually great on YouTube as well. And so that man alone has made such a huge difference, and he's a perfect example of that. But I'll also say that those 800 people in that room, the power of everybody coming together, of giving each other's hugs, that simple moment of Mr. P, the relationship guru, telling me a story and how much that impacted me. And who knows how that's going to impact you, right? So use those people as examples. You know, Brendan's a great one, but so is Mr. P, right? They can equally transform lives. So we need to just be more authentic and get our messages out there in the world. So that's my message for this video. And it's really exciting to identify that. I have so much more to share now that I'm really opening up my heart in a new way. So much more to give you, and so many ways that I want to connect with you. So thank you for your patience in these times that I haven't been consistent. I deeply appreciate that. It's a big fear of mine that my consistency is going to lead to people not trusting me and not believing in me. Truth is, it's those people don't really matter. The people that matter are you. Those of you who watch these videos, even though they're 20 minutes long and they're a stream of consciousness sometimes, those of you who comment or email me privately means so much. And I've had to work through so much of myself. And I put so much of that out there through this channel. And the people that have stuck through me and stood by my side and cheered me on despite my vulnerability and my uncomfortable moments, you guys, wow. I am eternally grateful for you. You make a huge difference in my life. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I can't wait to do the next video on Sunday. It's Monday, actually technically Tuesday right now. So there'll be a second video this week. And don't you forget to hold me accountable. Your voice matters. So if you email me and say, Whitney, where's my video? You're going to help make it happen, right? We're in this together, as Drew Canoli would say, over at Fit Life TV. I've been doing some work with them, and I love that phrase, we're in this together. So it's so true. We are in this together. And you guys make a deep, deep impact on my life. So I wouldn't be doing these videos if you didn't watch them and comment and tell me how much you like them. So thank you so much. That's it for today. Go out there, be your true, authentic self. I will probably read comments. I'm starting to get back into reading comments, so leave one. And I'm building up my courage and confidence a lot and letting go of the seeking for permission and validation. And I hope that you will as well. So again, thank you for your patience on that too. And I will see you in the next video on Sunday. Don't know what it's about yet, but if you have any content requests, send them over to me. I'd love to hear them. Until then, all the best to you in your personal journey. I believe in you. Bye, guys.